You're watching the MWHS Wildcat News, the official news source of Millard West, with Cole Filer and Madeline Augustine.
On this week's edition, we'll cover
the Forensics Black Box event,
the Respect presentation,
a look at prom and post-prom,
getting to know John Baylor,
and the QT Knockout Tournament.
Welcome back. I'm Cole Filer.
And I'm Madeline Augustine. Last week, the Millard West Forensics team showcased their talents at their annual Black Box event. Brianna Treader and I bring you more details.
On April 2nd, the Millard West Forensics team showcased their routines in front of family and friends at their Black Box event. The event gave the team members an opportunity to perform their routines that they have been working on all year.
It gives them a chance to showcase what they've been working on, some of them since the summer before school started, and some of them since October, some since January, and just to give them a way to perform without me being a coach and without judges being judgy, so they can just have fun in their performance.
The audience was able to see a variety of performances, ranging from oral interpretation to entertainment speaking to informative speaking. Most of the routines have been practiced and rehearsed months ahead of time. However, for sophomore Robert Russell, his category is a part of the limited prep category, giving him only a certain amount of time to prepare his routine.
I'm in this event called Extemporaneous. It's in the limited prep category, talking basically anything current events like politics, news, basically any events worldwide, whether it be statewide, in the nation, or somewhere else in the world. And so what I do, I get to the tournament and I draw 3 topics. From those 3 topics, I have to pick one, and I get 30 minutes to prep a speech with multiple sources that has to be memorized, and of course meeting a 5 to 7 minute criteria. And I have to prep this in, of course, 30 minutes with all the research and of course the speaking that's going to be involved with that speech.
Beyond showcasing the team's performance, the Black Box event gives people the chance to see what forensics is and what it is all about.
Forensics is competitive speaking. If you look in the dictionary, the first definition of forensics is the art of persuasion through the use of rhetoric, so persuasive speaking.
Forensics allows students to compete and win awards, but also gives them the platform to express themselves in a different way.
So throughout the 4 years, I just feel like I've turned from an introvert into an extrovert. Like, I'm not afraid to talk to people now. Like, I used to be like it was horrible, it was bad. But yeah, I can finally speak. I found my voice, as they say.
The Black Box Showcase was a way to honor every team member and their hard work over the course of this season. The members will go on to compete in 3 different national competitions this upcoming summer. This has been Madeline Augustine and Brianna Treader with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Respect Omaha, a program against bullying, presented to the sophomore class. Edison Geiler and Natalie Eljamal learn more.
On March 29th, the Respect Acting program visited Millard West to present bullying scenarios to the sophomore class. Counselor Sean Jurasek organized the play to come to the school to provide a more engaging presentation for students.
I think when you're dealing with the nature of the subject that they deal with, it's more powerful to have that type of instruction or that type of activity. It's more interactive. It is different. And when you get students in a different environment and they're able to experience real life scenarios, I think that's applicable to their lives right now. I think that's a powerful tool to use.
Respect travels to a multitude of different schools, ranging from kindergarten to colleges, to showcase different scripts that deal with various aspects of bullying. It gives students an example of the effects it can have, whether it be in person or over a cell phone. For West, the story of 3 students were shown to the audience, each being split into 4 scenes.
They didn't know my name, but they filled out these reports telling Mrs. Williams that I was getting bullied, how, and where.
Afterwards, there were 2 improv scenes that allowed students to participate in bullying scenarios, in addition to a Q&A that utilized note cards so students could ask personal questions anonymously.
It was definitely really fun, and I'm glad that I did it because it's always really challenging, and it's always also fun to put yourself out there and actually think what would I say, how would I respond or react in a situation if I was actually in it.
The entire purpose of Respect was to reach students who are dealing with bullying as much as it was to inform others. The actors talked about their personal experiences with bullying after the presentation. Each member was there to show students what they can do when they see bullying, but above that, they wanted to connect with students feeling alone or harassed.
I think back to one of the shows that I did where a character of mine cuts himself, and I got a note card at the end of the show saying, I was so close to cutting myself when I got home from school today, and seeing your show stopped me from doing that. So I just wanted to thank you for giving me a different option. And to me, it's kind of one of those things that's like, I know a lot of kids might not need something like this, but for that person that one day, I changed their life.
West will likely continue partnering with Respect to put on plays for new sophomore classes. Jurasec is also considering presentations for freshmen in future years utilizing a different script from what sophomores see. Regardless, the program will keep performing at schools across the Midwest to inform and connect to different students. This has been Eddie Geiler and Natalie Eljamal with the MWHS Wildcat News.
Every year, conversations about prom fill the halls. Bailey Christensen and Mackenzie Gonzalez go behind the scenes at the dance and post-prom.
On Saturday, April 6th, Millard West held their annual prom at CHI Health Center. Prom displays an opportunity for students to socialize in a semi-formal atmosphere outside the classroom. This year's prom theme was The Last Snowfall. In order to make the night magical, junior class board spent months coming up with the theme and making decorations. Decorations included snowflakes, trees, and centerpieces.
Seeing it all come together and like what it actually looks like once we were there, that was probably my favorite part, because like we spent months just coming up with the theme itself was so hard, because like we all had a different idea of what we wanted it to look like, and it was so rewarding to just walk in and be like, it's finally happening, this is it, it's the final work, like ugh.
Throughout the night, students could eat different flavors of popcorn, dance to the beat of the DJ, and take photos. At one of the photo stations, students could accessorize with costume pieces and were able to take home a copy of their own photos.
I just like dancing. Our group tore up the dance floor, and it was really fun.
The night became even more special as a memorial for Blake McCoon was set up. Next to the memorial were photos of royalty candidates who were announced at 10 p.m. At last, Prince and Princess were announced as Seth Claiborne and Katie Willard. King and Queen followed after as Boris Shabalti and Ashley Mitchell.
When I first heard my name, I wasn't really expecting it, and I just felt very excited and kind of honored to like have won prom princess. It was just a very cool experience.
The night and the excitement didn't end with prom, but rather continued with post-prom back at Millard West, which was set up by the parent board. At post-prom, students had the opportunity to battle others in archery, take a spin in a gravity-defying sphere, karaoke, gamble against fellow peers, and much more. Students explained their favorite part of the night.
Especially with like the hypnotist show and all the different bounce things that they had to do, it was just like more energetic and fun to be around.
The hypnotist was so cool. Like, it was just crazy to see people actually getting hypnotized. I really thought it was fake at first, but then I saw people falling asleep and like smacking on the ground, and it was really cool to watch, I guess.
It was truly a Wildcat party this year at prom. This has been Bailey Christensen and Mackenzie Gonzalez with the MWHS Wildcat News.
John Baylor visited Millard West to help prepare the juniors one last time for the ACT. Gabe Paredes, KAITLYN Willard, and Edison Geiler get to know him more.
Good morning, Wildcats. Last week, our juniors took the ACT exam after months of preparation by themselves and the one and only John Baylor. Today, I sit down with the man himself to get to know him beyond the 19 grammar rules and bubble time. So let's start from the beginning. What was your childhood like?
My childhood was a little chaotic. My mom left my dad when I was 4, so I have no memory of them together. She moved back to Boston, where she's from. So I spent my childhood really between Lincoln, where my dad was a lawyer, and Boston, where my mom lived. So it'd be like 2 years one place, 2 years another place, every summer back and forth. So it was a little chaotic.
So how was your high school experience, like, sports or other activities you were involved in?
I retired from football after my sophomore year. I was pound for pound a really tough junior varsity defensive back, but when I quit and started running cross country, no one urged me to reconsider. and went on to be a captain of the cross-country team and was a pretty good runner. I ran like 16:19 was my best time, and I should have run in college, frankly. And then in high school, I went on to be a varsity basketball player. I was a pretty good point guard. And then in baseball was my best sport. And I really could have played college baseball, but I went to Stanford, and they won 2 national championships when I was there, so they did just fine without me.
So you had mentioned you went to Stanford. So do you have any regrets, or just, what was your overall experience in that school?
Stanford's a great college, and most people love it. I just wasn't able to do my foremost passion. I wanted to play baseball. And it didn't happen there. So it was painful. That was really, really painful. So I'm not complaining. I'm just being honest that it was a tough thing to watch other people do what you love, which is another reason I really encourage students to attend only a school where they can meaningfully participate in one extracurricular skill.
So in the present day, you could say you're like the face of ACT prep here in Nebraska. So I was just wondering, how did this whole thing even start? How did you start such an empire of ACT prepping?
It really was unplanned. I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. I never thought I'd be a business owner. I thought I was going to be a teacher, and I was just trying things that I thought would make me happy, and rather than go to law school, I went and tried to be an actor. And then after that, frankly, I moved back to Lincoln to be a sportscaster, and I still do that, but it's now very much on the side. I needed money really quickly because I was flying through my savings. And so I started tutoring. Very first family said, hey, my kids like you, why don't you prepare them for the SAT? And that's how it all started. And I said, okay. And so I just, at that point, found a copy of an SAT test and figured it out. And then ultimately I moved back to Nebraska, Lincoln, my childhood home. And I thought, why not continue it here?
So you had mentioned you were an actor. So what was that experience like?
I was in a movie, which you should not watch, called Homeboys with Todd Bridges. I was ambulance driver number 1. I'm in the credits. And I was in a bunch of plays in LA. I was in a couple plays in New York before I left to go to live in Los Angeles. I'm confident I could have had some success there, but by doing it for 2 years, I realized that this, even when successful, I wasn't necessarily joyous. And if you're going to pay that sacrifice, you better love it.
Thank you for watching our special edition on John Baylor.
Make sure to hammer that grammar.
This has been Gabe Paredes, Katie Willard, and Edison Geiler for the MWHS Wildcat News.
With an hour-long QT every day, freshmen and sophomores battled it out in a knockout tournament. Annalise Smalley and Macy Wall bring you to the action.
During the week of March 26th through April 1st, Millard West had extended quality time.
For quad QTs, it's fun because we get to hang out with other ninth grade or people in our grade, and it just kind of helps a little bit.
We then asked a couple of sophomores how they think extended quality time has affected them.
I like it because it's extra time, and we can do the surveys that we have to do in order to graduate in that time.
Yes, we get a lot of extra time to do whatever we want.
During 3 of those days, freshmen and sophomores were allowed a chance to have fun and play knockout against each other. Many students joined in on the fun for a chance to get active and win prizes.
At the end of the week, the top sophomores from each extended QT would go against each other, and the top freshmen of extended QTs would go against each other. At the end, they will determine the final 2 winners from each class. Those 2 students will then play against each other in a tournament to see who wins the top prize.
So right now the freshmen have played against each other, and then the winners of the freshman QTs will play one big game. The sophomores are determining their winners from their quad QTs, and then they'll play a big game. And then the winners, the one winner from the freshman class and one winner from the sophomore class will play each other and earn that title.
Besides getting active and bringing energy, these games offered prizes to the winning students. The top freshman and sophomore winners would win donuts for their QT, and they would personally get a special treat for themselves. And the top winner of the 2 would get the trophy.
Yes, there's a reward for the winners of our knockout competitions. There's some cat cash, raffle money that's up for grabs, bragging rights, obviously. There's a trophy, and there's multiple opportunities for winners to earn donuts for their respective QTs.
This week, extended quality time wasn't just for fun and keeping students active. It was for helping the juniors review and do well on their ACT, which they would take on April 2nd. It also was used to help set goals for lowerclassmen and keep them on the right track.
This week we're having extended QT because we're hitting some grade level objectives with counseling curriculum. We're meeting some building goals, preparation for testing for the upperclassmen.
The winner overall was a freshman named Will Holzer, who got a take-home a trophy and the bragging rights.
I don't know, it feels good, I guess. I get donuts for my QT, and freshmen are better than sophomore at basketball this year, I guess.
This has been Annalise Smalley and Macy Wall in the MWHS Wildcat News.
That's it for this week, Wildcats. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at MWHS Catalyst.
And for more stories, check out our website at MillardWestCatalyst.com.
And pick up your copy of Volume 2, Issue 3 of The Catalyst today.
See you next time, Wildcats.